the swell begins to rise, sweeping left across the bar, and your soul begins to fly. Let the spirit take you far. May the waves rise up to meet you as you paddle on tonight. No matter where this journey takes you, know that everything.
Kia ora, my name is Daniel Kereopa and I'm from Raglan, New Zealand. I'm a surfer, stand-up paddleboarder and the ultimate waterman.
It's gonna be alright when you're traveling far away. For those of us who stay, everything's gonna be alright. When the wind begins to cry and the gulls begin to call,
being able to come back to the islands, to Tahiti and Raiatea, Moria, Huihine, it felt like I was potentially going back in time and maybe seeing the footsteps that had gone before me. It took big adventure, it took some serious commitment to leave your family behind, and to paddle in the waka, to sail in the waka and believe in the stories of the past, looking at the stars, of the ancestors to tell us where to go. And you know, it was a true honour for me to bring my physical self and, you know, tell the marae that I'm here, and I'm bringing my family with me and my ancestors to reconnect with you and say thank you for taking up the challenge of sailing and leaving the most beautiful place in the world. So we flew into Papeete, and it was, you know, it was really exciting because we already had a plan that would go down to Te Haupo and meet up with Matreiya Drole, who happens to be the younger brother of Manoa Drole, who's one of my friends. And you know, when you talk about Te Haupo, to me, it's fear. It's scary. The word itself just, it's so scary. You paddle down the wave and you can pretty much see the reef because it's so shallow and the water's so beautiful and clear. And then yet you look out to your left and you see a boat sitting in a channel and the guys are looking at you and you're taking off and you pull into a barrel and you come flying out and it's like shallow again. You know, we only had it when it was maybe head high, but it was still like, whoo, gives you the heebie-jeebies. And then you paddle back out and you're like, oh yeah, that was cool. It was really nice to be able to sit out there with Matreiya, and he was explaining to me the directions the swells come in and why you don't want to go for the swells too far to the west or they close out, and you don't want to go, you know. It was just getting some local knowledge. But more importantly, I found it was, he was telling me from his heart that the wave's scary, but he finds it the easiest wave to surf. And you know, this is a young man, probably 17. He's got a big future ahead of him in surfing, and he surfs some of the biggest waves, and yet he can still explain to me that it is quite a scary wave. You know, he's still a humble and honest man, and I think that right there told me how much respect that the people have for Te Haupo, and how to ride it is a great feeling, but will always be scary.
Come back to me when I had no direction. Did I see you not turn and run? Did I see you come back to me when I held no possessions? Or did I see you give love when I had none? Hesitate no love. Hesitate no more. Hesitate no hesitate, no love. Bring your love, I'll ask for more. Did I see you give shelter to me when the storm was heaving? Did I see you leaning to face the front? Did I see you stand next to me when all around were leaving? Or did I see you give love when I had none? Hesitate, no hesitate, no love. Hesitate, no hesitate, no more. Hesitate, no hesitate, no love. Shine your light right through my door. Hesitate, no hesitate, no love. Hesitate, no hesitate, no more. Hesitate, no hesitate, no love. Bring your love, I'll ask for more. Opportunity, breaking point, it's true. And though my eyes be set untimely, all they see is you. Opportunity, breaking point, it's true. Though my eyes be set untimely, all they see is you. Hesitate, no hesitate, no love. Hesitate, no hesitate, no more.
My life has been around surfing, and I've been a professional surfer, I've been a national world champion surfer, and it was only in one discipline, which was shortboarding. And there was a time in my career where I was at the top for such a long period of time. I actually didn't feel like I was content with myself, because it was just doing something in one direction. And that's when I guess it was the spirit of a person being in the ocean that started to want more, and I started searching for something else. Not something else that wasn't new to me, but there had to be more than just surfing a surfboard. And I started playing with other vessels, longboards, stand-up paddleboards. I got back into paddling waka in New Zealand, and over the years I've made my own paddles. And as that started developing, I was like finding that life was becoming more, I started understanding surfing, I started understanding what my life was about, and right down to opening up my own surf school. It was about the knowledge that I've gained to give back to people that I think what surfing is. It's not the act of standing up on a wave, riding all the way to the beach, waving out to your family, hi, take a picture. To me, that's a very small part of surfing. Surfing's about connecting with the people next to you. It's about respecting the ocean. The essence of surfing will always remain in my heart. That's how I think, as my people keep going forward, we nurture what's here, expand it out here, but we always come back to here. We caught the ferry from Tahiti Nui over to Matreiya, and it was really nice, you know, like to hop on a big boat and head towards an island. And I just was thinking, I wonder what it would be like to paddle this channel. And you know, it's a 30-minute boat ride and probably a 3-hour paddle, but it just felt good to just even think about those kind of things. We made it to Matreiya, and I wasn't too sure what kind of waves we were going to get, as I'd never really surfed around there before. We got picked up by Matreiya, our local guide, a spearfishing mad guy. He just loves spearfishing, and he took us out to the first spot, and he was just like, hey, you know, you're gonna go out there, there's gonna be a few local guys, say hello, and you know, maybe they'll let you catch some sets. I was like, oh, cool as. And when he sort of like explained to me that I need to say hello to people in the surf, is kind of foreign. You know, we don't usually do that kind of stuff, but in the islands it's a must do. It's telling someone that you're here and you see them, you respect them, and then you just sit back a little bit in the lineup and let them catch their waves. But the funny thing was, I took a little bit of time hopping off the boat, and Matreiya was like, hey, bruh, I'm gonna go catch some waves before you head out. I went, cool as. You know, so it was nice to have the guide just jump overboard, and I watched him really closely where to surf, which channels to sit in, and it was great.
Turn away from the mall, and the echoes in the hall. Speak softly tonight. Oh, we failed to compromise, but in time, when you're mine, then you run through the door, and you fall to the floor. I knew deep in your heart you'd say, no more words I'm asking you to say. I'm asking you to stay. One step at a time. You're crossing every line. Kisses rain like fire. When your world's on a wire. But in time, when you're mine, then you run through the door, and you fall to the floor. I knew deep in your heart you'd say, that you run through the door, and you fall to the floor. I knew deep in your heart you'd say, no more words I'm
So Matreiya, he waved me in. He had a plan for me to go to another spot. And I wasn't quite sure where we were going to go, because this wave was pretty fun. I didn't think we had to leave. And it was just such an amazing ride through the reef, and how clear the water was. The sand was white. The water had all these different color blues, and then it went to deep blue and then back to light blue. And Matreiya is just scanning where he's going, you know, in between the reef, and we were flying. And what I didn't realize was that he was actually taking me, we weren't going surfing. We were going to see and feed some sharks and stingrays. And it was really, really cool, because when I hopped on the boat that first thing in the morning, I thought he had brought us lunch, because there was a bag of like meat at the back. I went, oh, this guy's good. I like him. And then, so we parked up in an area in the reef, and there are all these stingrays and sharks, and we grabbed the meat and and just started hand feeding the stingrays, and I was kind of thrown back a little bit because I had to tell Pāti, I went, hey bro, man, these stingrays, they're my atua, they're my guardians in New Zealand. He's like, really bro? I was like, yeah man. And he goes, nah. I went, they are my atua. Te Atai Orongo is my guardian in Wrangler. And Te Atai Orongo goes with me everywhere. I think about him, I pray about him. And when I jumped in the water, it was just this feeling of like, whoa, just like, I can't even describe it. It's just, I had this stingray just come straight up to me and go right over my face. I was like, give me a cuddle. I was like, I could have easily cried in that moment, and I wasn't scared at all. I don't get the opportunity to swim with stingrays, but while I was in the water, I was just like, wow, these guys are my family, and the sharks that were around, they were just making me laugh because they're nosy parkers. But yeah, the stingrays and my connection back to New Zealand was one of the most magical feelings I've had in my life in regards to being as close as you can to nature and the beliefs that you've had all your life. And I had to thank Pātia for that. And whatever happened after that moment, to me it didn't matter. So I was very, very happy. Just me and the waves and a beautiful Tahitian sunset. Wow, it's all good. So we flew over to Raiatea. Quite an emotional feeling, knowing that I was going to go to Tapu Tapu Atea and really take a massive step back in history for me. I was actually a little bit apprehensive to go there, knowing that my people live there, and I was a little bit scared just because when you go that far back into time, the only answers that are there are what you see in front of you. And I have so many questions and want to know things about why did they even want to leave Raiatea? when I turned up, I was like, this is heaven. You got the ocean right here, you got the mountains, there are lots of bird life. It was perfect. And then I had to just think about it and wonder, maybe these people, there was the Wild West warrior, as I'd call it, just thought there was more. There's more out there than just this place. And for maybe our people to live and to carry on and to spread around the world, we have to believe in the stories that have been given us. And if you believe in the stories, you will make it to these foreign lands. And that's how I made it to Aotearoa, because I truly believe those ones that come south are the crazy ones. The ones that live here in Tahiti, they're the ones that are super happy, full of love and kindness, and that's what I feel when I have come to these islands. Like I said, each island had its own personality, but everyone gives you the same feeling, and that really warms my heart. So I moved around the area in a different manner. I sort of walked slowly. I was hoping to pick up on something that maybe they're trying to tell me to look at. But there was definitely a feeling there, and I had to remember it, because that feeling, I have to go home and tell my mother about it, and I have to tell my uncles and aunties and my family back home of what it was like here. Explain to them, show them the pictures, and tell them, like, I was there, Mum. I made it back to the homeland, and it was so beautiful, and at the same time, it was quite emotional, because my dad passed away a few years ago. I could feel him. I could feel him around. It was really nice. So, I knew I was home. I knew he was happy. Makes me happy. And the thing is, he passed away in a waka, and that's why I had to go paddling here. I had to jump in a canoe, even if it was only for 30 minutes, and just remember his spirit and just send him on his way. The best paddles in the world are made here, and they're the Viper paddles. And I got invited over to their house and just to talk a little bit about how and what it feels like to be producing a hoi, which is a paddle, for the greatest paddlers in the world, which are the Tahitians, and then sending those paddles to New Zealand and around the world.
Hey Daniel, how are you?
Good. Yeah,
Here's a paddle for you, man.
Oh, thank you.
Hope you will love it.
I will love it. I love paddling, so
Yeah,
it's nice to paddle with a new paddle from another island.
yeah.
You know, with someone else's thoughts and feelings in it. So tell me about this one.
We build different kind of paddle, a lot of different size of blade, and we have one part is more for V1. The blade is a little bit more round, and the angle is a little bit more high, so 10 degrees for this one. And for this V6 we use a more square paddle to give more powerful impact when you are in the water. And so we try to work with the best paddler here in Tahiti to improve our stuff here. What we try to do in Raiatea is to keep the local shape of the traditional paddle, but to bring the technical stuff inside the paddle to improve the technology of the paddle. So what we work a lot on the Viper paddle from a few years is to have a light paddle, a good gravity center, and strong paddle, flexibility. And after we work with the best paddler to do the best what we can. Then what we do is to build everything here in Raiatea. So only the raw material comes from outside, and we build everything here.
That's good, eh?
Because everything started from here, so we try to keep it here also. Yeah, to give work from the workers are from the village here, you know. So we try to keep everything here. Yeah.
Knock on your doorway as you seek to find your truth. Batten down your hatches, babe, it's waiting just for you. And I bought you here a long time ago. I bought you here a long time ago. I bought you here from out of your slumber. I said, love, come round maybe once in a while. And everybody's waiting for that night to arrive. I say, love, come round maybe once in a while. Everybody's waiting for that night to arrive. We got all the separation, all the separation. Don't you know that you are the one who makes the two from one? All the separation, all the separation. Give your heart to mine and let the body be the one.
Woo, that was fun.
Enjoy it?
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, I
Loved it.
Good?
Just being out on the water, you know, it's good.
Cool.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It was a beautiful time to go to Alex's home and see his family and see where he actually lives. And you're just like, what's going on? He's got waves left and right of his house. He's got a lagoon. He's got all these kinners in the front of his yard. And he's got all the toys to play on, from the stand-up paddles. And, you know, for a moment there I was kicking myself. I should be living here. I should be working for Alex. We woke up from our beautiful abode, and it was Teva and his beautiful partner had come to pick us up and go for a surf. And man, there must be something in the islands, because they're like, okay bro. Everyone's been locking down the rules. You gotta go say hello, you know, say hello to everybody, and it's just, oh, okay, sweet. So we went to a couple of spots. One was super sucky and just about on a dry reef, and I went, oh, that's it, we're out. And then the next one, there was a nice left-hander, which was really like home, like Raglan. And there was one other guy out, a French guy. And it was really funny because I paddled over to him. I was pretending to be Tahitian. Paddled over. How's it, bro? He's like, oh, hello. And it was just me and him out there for a little while, and then I waved out to the crew and I told the camera guy, bro, come for a surf. So he jumps in, and there's three of us out there just having a great time. And you know, sometimes when you work too hard behind the camera, you're not so fit. And our camera guy, he got smoked, got bashed by the biggest set of the day, and you know, he paddled back into the channel. I was like, hey buddy, you good? You good? He's like, oh yeah. I'll just sit over here for a while.
Globalization, this generation, still a matter of the living rundown. Conglomeration of corporation, still the women working 24 hours. Yeah, world production is just a searching for capitalism to file the field free. Genetic modified, just an alibi for corporations to control the Black Sea. We got to give it some thought. We got to give it some thought. We got to give it some thought.
So Teva was like, I've got something special for you. And we took another long journey through the lagoons, in through the outlets, on the outside of the reef, and he took us to this, I thought he had taken us to Bora Bora, but he hadn't. He had taken us to Taha, and I gave it a new name. I gave it Tahai, which means in Maori, you've stolen it. So Tahai Island belongs to me. And we went to go see the little fish in the coral reef, and it was so beautiful. It was, you know, you see me here, I could see the fish about 50 meters away. It was beautiful. It was romantic. It was everything and more than what Teva was telling me about. You know, and then Teva and his beautiful partner were just in love, and they were on the boat and we were swimming around, and we were like kids again, and it was so great. I didn't really want to leave, but you know, sometimes time's up and you got to head back home, and it was a special moment too, because when we were leaving Taha, we were heading back, and then we seen this big dark rain cloud coming over, and right when we hit our jetty, it just starts raining, like hosing down, and I was like, yeah, this is a perfect day. You know, the gods are blessing us for being here, and we're so grateful, and everything got wet, we were drenched, and then the sun came out. Hang out the washing, and it's back to island life.
Church of the church, Christchurch City. It's my tread. Yes, sir.
I really loved travelling through the islands and getting really personal with the airports. The airports are so small that when you arrive, someone's departing and it's crossing over, and it reminds me of the journey that we are on all the time. People are always crossing paths, and you never know who you're going to meet. You never know who you're going to share a story with. And this is where we made it to Huahine, and you know, I've already had stories, and it's a pretty hostile place. I don't like surfers over there. And I got here and they just wanted me to go surfing. But by the time I got here, I was so tired, and I was like, I think it's time to sit it out and spend more time with the people.
Okay, nei mea no Ānei tako tūmanako Kia keri kawa ngā raruraru Pehe o ku tūpuna Ko himu himu ki tako tāringa Kia putu i ngā raru o i ara Ka mohi o au, ko tai mai te wā Ka o ra ta tau Mo nā I a nei Koe e mā nuku nuku ki A wai ki te aha Ke ra nei
Looking at the local art, I hope it's not French because I won't be able to translate it. But to me it looks like Puahine rules.
He mea noa ke tēnei oranga, he me kaore e ki te ara Korero te ki o ho kato, pai o moinga hako
One man go down, time for sleep. Good day.
Kia tēnei oranga, reti tonu ki ka pahaka Ki te kore ngā korero e marama, pai te are are o te aua
Now I know why they want to keep this place secret. Whoever we are.
He kakahu pene pena
That's enough walking for today. Time to take a breather. I read a little bit in their brochure and it's like, we want you to be family, so we treat you like family. And when you leave, we will cry for you. I'm just like, oh man, I'm here. This is my family. And so so I was just thinking, I don't need to surf. I'm just gonna walk around the small town and hang down the wharf and imagine being a fisherman and coming back with the catch and then giving it back to the people, and they go and cook it in the little cookhouses, and we eat the fresh raw fish and rice and lettuce, and then eat more raw fish because you can, and then eat raw fish again for dinner. It's just I've been a pig, I'll be honest. I've been eating far more than I should be, but I may never come back. So I'm just going to, and I am enjoying every moment, getting sunburnt, enjoying the beautiful sunsets, and just looking at the people who live here. And they move slowly, they're really happy, and they've always got a smile on their face. So that's something I'm going to take home with me, is amongst the craziness and the wanting to have things, I might try and take a step back and just, I got everything I need. I just need my family and a smile on my face.